It began on the colony of Eta 9, a quiet, green world on the edge of human expansion, where forests shimmered under twin suns and children still laughed under an unbroken sky, until the day the sky broke. The Katal Dominion came without warning, cold, reptilian, efficient. Their fleet slipped from hyperspace like a blade sliding between ribs. The colony's defense satellites were vaporized in seconds. The orbital yards were turned into fireballs before a single distress signal could clear the atmosphere. Eta 9 had no soldiers. Only farmers, teachers, settlers. They watched from the ground as the heavens burned. The Katal, High Admiral, a creature of scale and bone armor, watched from the bridge of the warship Grathun's Claw. His second-in-command hissed, "Do we seize prisoners?" The Admiral laughed, his voice grinding like stone. "Prisoners from prey? No, let them scream. Let the Terrans know what happens when they reach beyond their station." He ordered a purge strike. Orbital plasma lances carved the world into a molten scar. Millions died before they could even understand who was killing them. The transmission that reached Earth was short, a garbled distress beacon and the last terrified words of a child. "The sky is falling. Please help us." And then static. The Katal Dominion declared victory. Another lesson in obedience, they called it. The Dominion's triumph. The halls of the Katal Grand Assembly rang with laughter. Holofeeds replayed footage of burning cities and shattered domes. Humanity's fragility, displayed for all the client races to see. A senator raised a glass of blood wine. The Terrans spread too fast. They believed themselves equal to the elder species. "They're soft," another hissed. "A young race addicted to peace. They'll howl, then fall silent." The Admiral bowed before the assembly. Eta 9 is no more. Their fleet is scattered, their spirit broken. Earth will sue for mercy before the cycle turns. The chamber thundered with approval. In the markets of the capital world, slaves were sold wearing fragments of Terran uniforms. Traders mocked the fragile children of Earth. Even the Dominion's neighbors whispered in agreement. Humanity had been bold, colonizing beyond their sphere, daring to speak as equals. Now they had been reminded of their place. For a time, the galaxy believed the lesson complete, until the Terrans went silent. Not a single message, not a protest, not even a declaration of war, just silence. The Dominion took it as proof of fear, but silence, they would learn, was not surrender. It was the sound before the storm. 3. The stillness before the storm weeks turned to months. Dominion scouts patrolled the border sectors, expecting retaliation. None came. Their analysts declared Earth was grieving, paralyzed by loss, that the humans were licking their wounds, that they lacked the strength to strike back. They were wrong. In the black between stars, human space went dark. Trade routes closed. Civilian channels went off-grid. Ships vanished from long-range sensors. The Katal mistook it for collapse, but it was preparation. On Luna, in the old Armstrong yards, a fleet was being reborn. The Solar Warden program, a long-retired defense initiative, was reactivated under the authority of the Terran Defense Directorate. Hundreds of shipyards lit up across the Sol system. Silent factories beneath Mars' red dunes woke from dormancy. The void docks of Titan churned out hulls the size of cities. Every forgotten relic of the old wars was reforged. Every colony ship that could be converted became a weapon platform. Every engineer, pilot, and soldier took an oath in the shadow of Eta 9's ashes. For the fallen. For the silenced. For Earth. When the Dominion intercepted a fragment of human communication, it chilled them. Project Hammerfall. Phase 2 initiated. They didn't know what it meant. Not yet. IV. The awakening of Iron of silence broke on the 137th day after Eta 9's fall. A Katal patrol fleet detected a hyperspace surge at the edge of the Sirius expanse. A small task force moved to investigate. 3 cruisers and a carrier. Their sensors lit up. 17 unknown contacts emerged. No transponders, no insignia, but their hulls gleamed black as obsidian, absorbing all light. The Katal commander hailed them. "Identify yourselves." The only reply was a single human voice, flat, cold, and measured. "This is Earth's retribution. No negotiation. No mercy." Then space ignited. Kinetic rods the size of skyscrapers slammed through Katal cruisers at fractional light speeds. Their shields collapsed before they could charge weapons. The carrier didn't even get the chance to scream before it. Disintegrated into plasma. 17 human ships erased a Dominion task force that had terrorized systems for decades. The footage reached the Dominion Assembly hours later. They dismissed it as an exaggeration. But then it happened again, and again. Their border worlds began to fall silent. Not from human invasion, but from something far worse. Orbital bombardments so precise they turned cities to glass, while leaving empty fields untouched. Entire fleets vanished without a trace. Rumors spread that the humans had built weapons guided by vengeful ghosts. AI constructs made from the memories of Eta 9's dead. The truth was simpler, and far more terrifying. It was humanity itself. The March of Vengeance. By the time the Dominion understood, it was already too late. The Terran retribution fleets moved through space like a tidal wave. Each battle group bore the name of a fallen colony: Eta's Wrath, New Kyoto's Lament, Aurora's Blade. Their flagship, TDS Judgment, was said to be carved from the remains of an asteroid that had once destroyed a world. From its bridge, Admiral Helena Vorin watched as another Katal world burned. Her orders were simple: for every Terran life taken, a world will answer. The human fleet didn't fight like the Dominion. They didn't announce invasions or demand surrender. They arrived, struck, and vanished. Each attack a surgical apocalypse. Orbital defense grids melted under railgun fire that bent magnetic fields. Cities drowned under storms of tungsten. The Dominion's generals called for negotiation. The humans sent them coordinates of mass graves they had found on Eta 9. Their message was carved into the ruins in atomic fire. We heard the children scream. And then came the ground forces, the legions of Sol. They dropped from orbit encased in exo-armor that turned them into walking tanks. They didn't shout. They didn't taunt. They advanced in silence, methodical, unstoppable. When the Dominion soldiers tried to surrender, they found only cold eyes staring back. The humans had not come for prisoners. They had come for balance. The fall of the Dominion, the Katal capital world of Vorun, was the jewel of their empire. A world of obsidian spires and flame-lit skies. It had never been invaded in 10,000 cycles, until Earth came. The invasion began with the quiet. All communications cut out. Orbital satellites went blind. The planetary shields failed without warning, sabotaged by something buried deep in their systems. Then, without fanfare, the sky opened. The human fleet arrived not in formation, but as a storm, thousands of warships emerging simultaneously from hyperspace, blotting out the stars. Vorun's defense armada launched in desperation. It lasted 7 minutes. Plasma storms turned oceans into vapor. Planetary rail arrays melted under the bombardment. The capital city, seat of the High Assembly, became a crater 50 kilometers wide. The Katal Emperor tried to flee. His ship was caught mid-jump and torn apart by a gravity lance. From orbit, Admiral Vorin broadcast one message across every Dominion frequency. You thought Earth fragile. You thought mercy our weakness. You mistook patience for fear. Now, learn what your arrogance has bought you. When the smoke cleared, the Dominion was gone. Their empire fractured into ash and silence. The surviving client races fled to the outer rim, whispering prayers that humanity would not come for them next. Ashes and silence. The war lasted 106 days. When it ended, the Katal species had lost 90% of its population. Their homeworlds were uninhabitable, their fleets extinct. The Terran Defense Directorate declared the war concluded. There was no victory parade. No speeches. Earth mourned the lost and turned away. The galaxy watched in awe and terror. The species once mocked as fragile had moved with the precision of gods and the wrath of demons. Planets still bore scars shaped like the letters of their vengeance. Survivors of the Katal fled across the stars, whispering tales to anyone who would listen. They don't roar when they come. They whisper. And then the stars die. In the diplomatic councils of the galaxy, one phrase became law. Do not provoke Earth. It was not a treaty. It was survival instinct. Even centuries later, when new empires rose and fell, no one dared trespass near Terran space. They called it the Veiled Sphere, a silent zone of dark worlds and unblinking satellites. Sometimes travelers swore they saw massive shapes moving beyond the edge of sensors, silent ships, watching, waiting. Vate, the whispered legacy generations passed. The Katal name became a warning whispered to hatchlings and children across the stars. And among the ruins of Vorun, explorers found something strange, a monument of black stone. No markings, no symbols, just a single inscription in old Terran script, carved deep enough to survive even planetary firestorms. We were fragile once, but you made us what we are. The galaxy learned that day what it meant to awaken Earth's wrath. Patience, they realized, was not weakness. Compassion was not cowardice. Humanity had given them centuries of peace, countless chances for coexistence. But when the line was crossed, when the innocent were butchered and their children silenced, Earth did not weep. It remembered. And when humanity remembers, worlds burn. The silence after retribution. In the stillness that followed, humanity withdrew. Their fleets retreated into the void. The stars they had shattered glowed faintly in memory, like embers of divine punishment. The Terran banners were lowered, the dreadnoughts sealed in lunar vaults. But their weapons remained, quiet, patient, eternal. Because Earth did not forget. They simply waited. Waited for the next empire to believe they were fragile. Waited for the next arrogant hand to strike at the innocent. And somewhere, deep within the Sol system, in the vast command halls buried beneath the surface, a single message was carved into steel: mercy to the kind, silence to the cruel, vengeance to those who forget. The galaxy would never forget Eta 9 because when the sky fell for humanity learned how to make the stars fall for everyone else. And thus it was written in the echoes of annihilated worlds. They thought Earth fragile, but it shattered their worlds.